Hi, everybody. Good evening. How are you? Happy New Year. I am really happy to be here with you today. I was really looking forward to this conversation today because, well, I don't know, for obvious reasons, there's a lot going on in the country, there's a lot going on in the world, and I was really looking forward to just kind of taking a break and kind of having a great conversation with someone who I so appreciate. So you guys are going to be able to meet a great lady. Her name is Kourtney Willis, and she works with me at the practice at Downtown Dermatology. And she is so familiar with LivSo. She has been with me from the beginning, and she really has been kind of instrumental in kind of me pinging, I guess, my thoughts about, gosh, should I create a product line? Should I really do this? And from the beginning, she was like just a staunch supporter. She was really there when we saw a lot of these patients in the practice who were suffering with dry, itchy scalp and hair loss. And, you know, when I finally shared with her that I was thinking about creating a product to kind of help with just the normal hair care routine that we all have to maintain, she was there. She was like, yes, do it. You should do it. You should do it. She was always a staunch supporter. And so from the beginning, I have so appreciated her on this journey as we've created this brand. She's also an amazing person to bring to events. And I'm so looking forward to having events to go to in person again. And many of you may have met her at Essence, perhaps. So, ooh, I see her. We're going to add her in now. Here's Kourtney. Here comes Kourtney. Super excited. All right. Hi, Kourtney.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Good.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. It's so good to see you. I love your background. It looks so sparkly fun.
Oh, thank you.
This is great. This is great because, you know, really this is kind of like our normal thing. Usually in the evenings after we work, right? We've seen patients for the day, and sometimes you kind of keep me in the mix here because, okay, truth be told, this whole social media thing for me has been like a little bit of a leap and a stretch. I don't know if you've caught on, but it's true. And so, but Kourtney has always been the one like, hey, you should follow so-and-so. Hey, you should do this. Hey, you should consider that. And I really appreciate you for always keeping me current. And so I feel like this is just a natural progression of what we always should have done is meet this way, because we meet this way, you know, through DMs. We meet through text in the evening. You send me funny posts. I send you funny memes. It's just like a natural thing. So this is good. It's good to see you here. So thank you for joining. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
And Happy New Year to everybody who's joining. It's 2021. Woo! So happy to turn the page on 2020. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I hope everybody out there is staying safe. If you have to go to work in person, I hope everybody has all their PPE and you're washing your hands and you're wearing your face masks. And just excited to be moving forward. Glad we have a vaccine. Really excited about that. Yes. So tough day. Chicago's Curly says tough day. Absolutely. It's a tough day. Oh my gosh. I can't even, you all, like, I can't even hardly speak about it, which is why I'm kind of glad to have this as a mini break. And so at least this is just a moment where we can kind of take a collective sigh and talk about something that is completely different than politics and about current events, because it is all quite disturbing. So I would just say, I don't know, Court, do you have any words on that?
I just think we all have to stay positive at this point. I think that it is, it's just important to stay positive. I feel like, I don't know. I'm just at a loss for words right now. I can't believe that we're at this point.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It is quite upsetting. you know, it's just, you know, you just want everything to be normal. I think that's what we all really want. And
for sure,
that's why, you know, we have to just stay vigilant, with things that we really can control, and, you know, do our best to just keep our own person and our own family safe. That's really about all we can do right now.
That's all we can do.
And so I just encourage everybody to remain vigilant. Don't give up. We're almost there. If we can all just hang in, get these vaccines taken care of, and get ready for later this month.
Yes.
That's it. That's it, y'all. So hang in. So really excited. Thanks for everybody who's joining. But really wanted to talk to you today about things that we want to leave behind in 2020 as it relates to hair care, skincare, just trends. What do we want to leave in the past? What do we really want to just let go of and not bring with us into this new year that we have such high hopes for? So I know you and I have kind of had some convos about this, and so let's get into it. Into it. So, and just by way of introduction, for everybody who's joining, this is Kourtney Willis. She's an amazing medical esthetician at Downtown Dermatology here in Columbus, and she just hooked me up with a fantastic chemical peel. Like we did it right before Christmas, so that I could heal over the holiday, because I wasn't going anywhere and my family didn't mind that I was peeling all over the place. And that is one thing that I definitely want to continue to bring into 2021. Right, Court?
Yes.
Yeah.
Chemical peels are great. And they're great, especially over the cooler months, because you want to make sure that you're not in the sun. You want to make sure that you are able to keep yourself protected. So great sunscreen. You want to be able to keep yourself moisturized once you're peeling. And while we're in the cooler months, or while it's cold outside, you don't have the temptations of being outside on a patio or you know, anywhere in the sun. It's easier to stay inside, and so that's why we choose to do it during the cooler times of the year. Right.
No, absolutely. So I was really excited to have that bring me into the new year. Was a freshly peeled face. So thank you for that. So, and the other fun thing that or fun fact that I will share about Kourtney is that she comes from a hair care family, right?
Yes.
So, you know, so I've always thought about your family as being kind of like the first family of hair care in the Midwest. Absolutely. So, so Willis Beauty Supply is kind of a legend here in the city, and you know, shout out to Sherman Willis and
my Uncle
Yolanda Willis and Teresa Willis and all of the Willis clan, who bring so much to the industry here, you know, and really, I guess that's how you and I met, right? Like way back when. I mean, we kind of grew up together by way of introduction. Like, she is younger than me, so I can't quite say that we were like the same age, but she's more in line with my brothers than me. But I always knew that you were kind of a makeup artist and that you were into skincare. And then of course that the hair thing just kind of came naturally.
Yes.
And that's fantastic. And so you've been able to kind of bring your natural background into the aesthetics that we offer in the practice, and that we naturally kind of promote to our patients and to people who we know. And so that is Kourtney's credibility, that's her brand, and that's why we're here to talk about this today.
Yes.
So let me just get this started. I think that the first thing I would recommend that we leave back in 2020 is impatience.
That's a good one.
Impatience for the process, right?
Yes.
I mean, so when you think about kind of what it takes to develop like a hair care routine, what comes to mind as it relates to like patience, Court?
I feel like you just have to know really where you want to be with your hair. And I do feel like it takes time. You have to know you know, I feel like we're always in the process of being like, oh, I want this style, or oh, this is what I want to look like. And I think that sometimes we jump around to different things. And I don't think that that's a bad thing at all. I think it can be fun. But then I think that we get to this point where like, oh, I want to grow my hair out. And when we're not where we want to be, we can be impatient. And we try all these different things and we're like, oh, let's do this, let's do that. And sometimes not realizing how damaging it can be. And I think that we get to this point where we're like, oh, let's put it in a protective style. So then it gets like protective style after protective style after protective style. And sometimes not realizing that the protective style might not be as protective as we think that it is.
Oh my gosh.
Taking a beat and being careful and not being so hasty to move from style to style to be protected, and maybe leaving your hair out to let it just be. I think is oftentimes a good way to just let it be.
Right, exactly. And I always one thing I always say to people is like, we're not robots, right? We're humans. We're people. We go through things. We may be you know, suffering with hair, scalp conditions, etc. And
absolutely,
if we're in the process of rectifying those things, just because we used a remedy or a treatment, a medication for like a week or two, doesn't mean it's going to always like turn the corner immediately. We have to give it a little time. Right. And just trust the process. And I think that's really hard for us to accept sometimes, because we just want, we want what we want, like when we want it. Like
exactly.
And
like yesterday. And at this point in our time with technology and everything, we're to the point where we're at that instant gratification, and we need to learn to take a step back and just be patient about things.
Right. Yeah. We're not like microwave people.
For sure. For sure.
like the slow food movement, you know, you almost want to think about that, like, you know, slow hair care, you know, and just being really intentional about like the process and like giving our hair time to develop, right? It's tough because we do want the look now, we want it immediately, we want it, you know, but you may have other goals, right? You may want to exercise, you may want to do other things, and so it's tough. You know, when you want
less is always more. That's right, Kathy. Less is more.
Yes, I see that. That's so good. Less is always more. Exactly. But that's such a hard concept, because we always we have this notion that more is better. Right.
But that's not always true.
Yeah. And I think it's cultural, right? Because we are a capitalistic society, and we all, you know, it's like we're just driven to do more and more and more. And sometimes it is good to just say, you know, I'm going to get to know what this is for me, and trust this process. And just, you know, sometimes if you just adopt that philosophy, we may see better. We may see more results. Yeah. So along that line, another thing that I would like to see kind of drop is perhaps hair judgment. Hair judgment.
Listen, I know. I have been there.
And I think you kind of coined that term, Kourtney. Is hair judgment.
Yes. I think you know, I feel like there's all types of hair judgment. I remember being younger and, you know, being judged on my hair. Oh, when I first decided to grow my relaxer out. I remember in college, I was 18 when I first decided to grow my relaxer out. And I remember being on campus and I was wearing my hair curly, and the only product there was, and thank goodness for my mama, she sent me Paul Mitchell foaming pomade. And thank goodness for her, because I was probably looking crazy. But she sent me foaming pomade, and I don't think that I probably wasn't doing it correctly at the time, but it looked good. It didn't look bad. But I remember somebody on campus was like, "Ooh, you need to do something with your hair." And I thought it looked good. You know, it was curly. It was mine. It looked fine. Right. And I just remember thinking to myself, well, I mean, it's mine. It looks good. You know, I thought anyway. And he, you know, it was a guy, and he said, you know, I need to do something with it. And I just remember feeling like, what do you mean? This is what it looks like. This is how it grows, you know?
Yeah.
What should I do with it? But, you know, and I do feel like there's so much judgment with hair, like whether you're natural or relaxed, or how natural are you, or ooh, you shouldn't blow it out. You should just
what
do
your
this,
curls
or
look like.
exactly. Ooh, are you 4C, or what's this, or you know what I mean? Or what products are you using? Ooh, that product ain't natural enough. And, you know, there's so many things that it's just like, my gosh, like, what's all the judgment? And I think that it gets to the point where it's so much that I feel like, can we just be happy that we have the hair that we have?
Yeah.
And just be happy that it's there and it's healthy.
Right. That's right.
It can just be its hair. It's all good because it's there.
Because it's there. And that is good hair. That is good. That is good.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. Yeah, no, I think that really there is so much baggage that we all kind of carry from, I don't know if it's the past or if it's from just who knows what. But like you say, oftentimes it's a comment that someone may have made in the past. It could be from our childhood, what have you. But absolutely, there is beauty and uniqueness. Thank you, Teresa.
Yes.
And that's what it's about, is just like being comfortable and getting comfortable with just who you are and really just being your best self. And that's what I hope people feel like they can bring into this year. You know, it doesn't matter, because one tricky thing that I think this also leads into is the fact that, like, just because something is natural doesn't always make it healthy.
Right.
And just because something may not qualify or be classified traditionally as natural, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's unhealthy.
Exactly. Yes.
So,
I love
like,
that.
Perfect example is, you know, if there's a person who has the need to want to relax her hair, and if she is doing it in a manner that is healthy, meaning that she's not overusing the relaxer, she's not having it applied improperly, she's getting her scalp treatments correctly, she's getting her ends trimmed.
It's not over processed.
That's right. She's doing the correct process. If she wants to wear it that way because she feels that it suits her lifestyle, for example, and the way she wants to wear it, no harm in that. And so I think a lot of people, especially with the brand LivSo, because we do sort of promote perhaps a more natural aesthetic, it doesn't always mean that the product is not for people who perhaps are relaxed. And because my idea is that whether you are relaxed or natural, LivSo can be used for you. And it can be promoted in a healthy way, regardless. And that's kind of why I'm so glad you wore your hair straightened today.
Yes.
Because are you, just for everybody's knowledge, do you use relaxers, or are you considered natural?
I am natural. So I blew my hair out today because I'm a wimp. In the winter, I do not like to leave my hair, or I don't like to wear my hair curly in the winter because I can't sleep with my curls. I have to wet my hair every day. They don't look good the next day. Like, they look awful. I've tried it. I look fuzzy and just awful.
That's the trick of having long natural hair, that you wear curly, and if you're in the cold climate in the winter, it's tough. Because you know, what do you do? Do you really wet it every day? If it's 20 degrees outside, that can be a challenge. And so these are the realities. It
is, and so I blow it out in the winter. And one of the things that I like about LivSo is that I use it all year round. And I can use it whether my hair is blown out or whether it's curly. It works with my hair all year round, and it's great. It's not heavy. My hair, I mean, it works with both straight or curly.
I'm so glad. But I mean, I feel like anytime when you change your hair, I know it's like this for me. If I get like a little bit shorter of a cut, and you said you're a wimp. Well, I natural hair, natural long hair for me. Oh my gosh, it's hard. It's really hard. I mean, I think during the deep part of the pandemic in March and April, I couldn't get my hair cuts, and so by the time the pandemic was over, my hair was pretty big. And whenever I get it trimmed or cut, you know, everyone has to comment, and everyone, you know, and that's cool. I don't care. I have tough skin that way, but a lot of people are sensitive, right? Yeah. I mean, do you get comments when you change your hair?
I do. I've had people comment. So when I get my hair cut, the girl that cuts my hair, she cuts it in a way so that if it's curly, I just go in and she'll kind of trim it for me. And so I go in when it's curly, but she can actually cut it even when it's straight and it's fine. So sometimes I'll just, I make sure that it's just bone straight. And so I've had people comment, like when it's bone straight, like, oh, your hair looks really bad. Like you need to grow your relaxer out. And I'm like, I don't have a relaxer, you know, and sometimes when it's curly, I've had people come and say, oh, you need a better shape, or, you know, and it might just be a day that like maybe I put too much product in, or I wasn't paying enough attention, or, you know, I might not have diffused it well, or maybe I didn't diffuse it. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. I mean, beauty, it's in the eye of the beholder.
Exactly.
It's so tough. And so it's just my hope.
It just happens. Yeah. We just need to let go of the judgment.
Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Yes. Yeah, because I mean, and I'm sorry, not to belabor the point, but like, don't you think that it's possible to have a really healthy head full of relaxed hair, and then sometimes isn't it possible to have an unhealthy head full of natural hair?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And so I think we have to kind of, you know, just call it what it is, and just make sure that however we decide to take care of it, that we're being health conscious and not relying on the idea that natural hair is going to be healthy just because you're not using chemicals.
Right. Exactly.
You know, I think in many cases, like natural hair almost requires, forget almost, it does require just as much hair, just as much hair, and it's a ton of work, especially if it's long.
Yes. Oh, especially if it's long. You just have to decide what's best for you at the end of the day. No one can decide that but you. You can't let the pressures of anyone else's world what's best for you. You are in charge of that, whether it is your fitness goal, whether it is your diet, whether it is what you want to put in your body. It is up to you. No one else can decide that but you.
That's right.
It's a personal choice.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're the one that has to do the work.
Exactly.
At the end of the day.
Yes, and it is a ton of work for natural and gray hair as well, as Yolanda has stated.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what do you think about, well, this is, I always, as a dermatologist, I always get worried when people who I know are concerned about hair loss or hair issues, scalp issues, who say that they want to just take a break from their hair. And, you know, in many cases we do that with protective styles, right? And I think it's fantastic. Like today the best thing about hair today is that we do have options, right? We have like as many options as we have creativity, and you know, we have creativity. And but my like ears pop up when people say that, because I kind of can foresee where problems can come from that. So like I really want people to think about the trends of protective styles in a way that really will help expand kind of what our options are, and less of like a way to escape. You know?
Yes,
that's what I'm
for sure.
That's what I'm always concerned about.
protective styles, they're kind of, they're, I think they're
tricky.
great.
They're
And
tricky.
I think that there are some that are absolutely protective, but there are some that are scary, and I think that one of the things that I think most worries me is we might see our hair in a compromised position, and our first go-to is, oh, I need a protective style. I don't want my hair to get any worse.
Yeah.
And I think it should be, oh, I need to go see a dermatologist, or I need to go see what's going on. I need to find out what's happening.
Yeah.
Instead of, I need to find out, or I need to get a protective style, because sometimes those protective styles can, instead of being helpful, they can be harmful.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to get away from, is the harm that it can cause. And, there are such great stylists with such great creativity, and that aren't putting, any tension on there or anything like that. However, because the hair and the scalp is compromised, any tension create, can create a worse situation. And so
Yeah.
I think that, reaching out to a medical professional would be what would be best before having a protective style, and finding out what protective style would be best. So there are some that I do think are great, but maybe reaching out to a medical professional and then finding out from a stylist what would be great with low tension could be good.
Yeah. And it's
less
tough.
manipulation, maybe.
And right. And it's easy for us to say, right, because we live in a city where we have lots of medical professionals, and we, et cetera.
For sure.
Some people, there may not be a dermatologist for 50, 100 miles, and so I recognize that is a limitation. And so, you do what you can. You just do what you can. But the most important thing is to just kind of, face issues head on. And so I think that, the one thing that I really want people to consider is, if you do see a hair or a scalp issue or concern, or any health issue or concern, to not always just blame it on perhaps what you're eating or what you're not eating, or what you're doing or not doing. If it's, if it's not obvious, if you know that you just dyed your hair blonde, and then you dyed it red, and then you got braids, and then you went to Jamaica and you were in the water and then it broke off, then that's one thing. But if you also know that, that really you're really not sure, and this problem has been occurring for, perhaps 6 months to a year or more, then at that point you really do want to try and get some professional help, and really manage it in a way that is not going to be, prolonging an already difficult potential situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So hopefully people will kind of have the courage, because it takes courage, right?
It does.
To reach out and actually see someone, because no one wants to feel like they have a disease per se, right?
And it's the unknown, I think, too.
It's the unknown, but one potentially good thing that's come out of this whole pandemic is that we now have remote telehealth services. So really there is very little that can stand in the way of you potentially having a consultation with a board certified dermatologist who specializes in hair loss, or who has a special interest. And there are some amazing resources that you can find online, and you can kind of read bios, you can pick and choose, and you can get to the bottom of this. So I hope that people really have the courage to kind of, speak up for themselves and be a self-advocate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So kind of on to other things that people often do and apply to their scalp. Let's talk about oils. Oils. Tell me what you think about oils, Kourtney.
So oils are probably one of my least favorite things.
Tell me how you really feel. How do you really feel about it?
At least for the skin. So I just don't understand it. And maybe and I could be very wrong, but I don't get it. But you can, be honest and you tell me too, because it's just something that I just don't get. So I look at it like this. So I feel like our skin is our largest organ, and it's 80% water. And there are lots of people that come in and they're using all of these essential oils for all of these skin issues, and I don't get it. And I sometimes they'll explain and they're like, oh, I use this, and I understand that it probably feels good on the skin and all these things, but it takes so long to penetrate into the skin that I feel like first you're probably walking around with this oil on your skin, and there's all this dirt and debris in the air that we can't really see, that's probably just sticking to the oil and just creating this environment of dirt on the skin that is just probably making you break out maybe even more.
Yeah,
or
it's tricky.
Just,
tricky. I feel like there are people who are just blessed to have like amazingly resilient skin, and they can kind of do whatever they want to do and have it be perfect. And
but for those of us
good
who
for them.
don't, I would be a hot mess.
But there are some people who I feel like really have not benefited from the trend of like oils on everything, you know, oil for your scalp, oil for your face, oil cleansing, oil layering, oil. And then like the essential oils are on a whole nother level, right? Because they're very strong. I mean, and that's a good example of like, natural. Is natural always safe? Is natural always, I mean, you can use don't get me started on tea tree. Tea tree oil. I mean, I think that was one of the most popular things a couple years ago, but it continues right into years at a time. And tea tree oil can be extremely strong, especially when it's used full strength. And so we always are concerned when people are using essential oils of any kind directly in full strength on their skin. Absolutely, it can be tough. And then
I just don't like it because it repels it repels water. So if your skin is 80% water, I just don't understand how it would work to moisturize the skin. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are using it for, is to moisturize the skin. And so if it's not doing anything to attract water, which is what your skin needs, I don't get it. So and maybe that's me, but I just feel like it just doesn't. I don't feel like it could work to do anything for the skin and treat it in that way. Right. Yeah.
Right. No, I completely agree with you. And the whole the whole repelling water effect is really interesting. In many cases, people use oils as moisturizers for their body, but then they if they're honest with themselves, they realize like, but when I slather up, I feel good for about 5 minutes, and then it all kind of integrates, and then an hour later you're super dry again. And so they can be helpful in some ways if you layer it on the body with a moisturizer, but not as the exclusive moisturizer, I think. And then we all it's really important to remember that if you put oils directly on the scalp, unfortunately it can promote unwanted yeast development, which can make dandruff worse. And that's always tricky, right? Because if things are dry and flaky on your scalp, and you don't want to like wet your hair if it's not a wash day, if you're not trying to get it wet, and oil kind of makes sense. Like, okay, let me use an oil. And that's what we always did, right? But unfortunately, it goes against what we understand now. It can actually drive yeast levels up. And so, using products that have it integrated perhaps in a well-developed manner is one thing, but then applying it directly to the scalp is perhaps a little bit of a different story that could actually make the problem worse. So
Right.
that's what I think about oils.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't know if oils are going anywhere, but we have our 2 cents. We have our 2 cents. Maybe not oils for everything, right?
Right. I feel like they're probably not going to go anywhere, but ooh.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, one trend from 2020 that is not going anywhere soon are masks.
Yes.
Masks.
No.
So face masks. We want everybody to continue to wear their face masks, please.
Yes.
Because it is very important. And so in that light, there are some tricks about really doing the whole mask thing well, right? And as a makeup artist, you know a lot about makeup and how to finesse makeup with masks. So tell me a little bit about what you think about this subject.
I would say I just wouldn't wear any makeup underneath my mask at all. Unless you have to go to work. Like if you are someone who has to like wear makeup for a living and you're going somewhere where you don't have to wear it, or you have to wear it like for work and you have to wear a mask over top of it, that's one thing. Like I get that. But if you don't have to wear makeup and you're wearing a mask, don't wear makeup underneath it. It is just going to cause lots of problems and you'll probably break out with it. I mean, I just feel like it's going to get all in the inside of the mask, back on the face, back on the mask, back on the face. And I just feel like it's going to totally create lots of problems, lots of breakout, lots of clogged pores, black, I mean, all types of things. So,
and it interferes with the function of the mask.
Yes.
It does, because it does attract more dirt. It does attract, it's unfortunately, it's just not a healthy practice. So, I think it's really important to just have as clean of a face as possible before you wear these masks, and rewash them. Use the rewashable masks, all of that. But you can always fake it, right? Like you could put your mask on. You've got your mask on down here, and then you can like have fun with an eye, right?
Do some eye makeup. Good brows. Good eyeliner.
Get your brows. Lashes. Lashes are really clutch in this time.
They really are. Yes.
So have fun with some mascara, right? And maybe a little lash extension product.
Yes.
To help. There are several on the market.
Yes.
There are lots of lash extension products to help your own natural lashes grow. So that you may feel, you can be a little glam around the eye. Because it's a whole thing now. We've got like an extra accessory, but we have to wear it safely. But the makeup down here is no good, especially. And what do you think that's going to do for your mask me, which is now a thing?
Right.
Nothing good.
So real.
Nothing good. Nothing good. And so about the makeup, like most of us, I know I'm kind of sad because I invested in some makeup last year. I haven't really gotten a chance to wear it. So what should I do with my makeup, Kourtney? That
if you have some
on
old
the older
makeup,
side,
I feel like that you haven't touched in a while, just pitch it. If you have some new makeup that you haven't used, keep it, save it. But if I feel like this is a good time to go through old makeup that you haven't touched in a while, go through some stuff, pitch it, get rid of it. I always say, especially mascara. Mascara is something that after 2 months, pitch it, get rid of it. It's gross.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard, right? Because you may have like your favorite one. You have your favorite one. You're like, oh, I don't want it to end.
Pitch it, get rid of it. It's gross.
But let it go.
Yes.
Let it go. It's your
Get rid of
eye.
it,
Like that's mascara is a big one.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And then one thing that I think, again, we kind of talked about this at the beginning, is just like, sometimes we feel like the more we do, the harder we try, the better our results will be, right? And so I think that like the idea of like the 10-step skincare routine, the complexity, that's a tough one. That's a tough one for me, because I mean, I try to be very consistent. Like this is my job. I need to be consistent, and I am consistent, but when you're talking more than like 4 to 5 things on your face,
it could be a lot.
a lot.
It could be a lot, especially when days get long and, you know, you're doing lots of things. There's lots of activities, and then there's homework, and, you know, I mean, just there's tons of stuff. So I just keep it simple and basic. So always a really good cleanser, you know, moisturizer, and protect. Like if you protect in the morning with a sunscreen, like you're saying, and then, you know, at night with a good like antioxidant or something, I feel like that would be fine.
Yeah.
I think simple and straight to the point would be good.
Yeah, exactly. In the winter, using that time to really work on, say, hyperpigmentation while the sun is a little less active. You know, but kind of picking some projects, some concerns, and just focusing on them with intention, right? And not having not being persuaded by everybody else's goals.
Right. You have to pick what's best, what you want to work on, and the things that, you know, you feel like you want to target, but you don't have to pick you don't have to target everything all at the same time. Just pick, you know, maybe 1 or 2 things, or maybe just even one thing. And you have to be dedicated and want to do it. If it's something you're not going to do, then just keep it simple.
Right.
And be intentional.
Exactly. So yeah, so are we saying we want to leave the 10-step skincare routine back in 2020? We decided, okay, boom.
Leave it.
I'm sad. Sorry guys, this was a crazy day, as we all know. And Kourtney and I had this idea, we were going to have like these, like we were going to have like little signs that said like, right? It said like, you know, basically like a yes, keep, or a no, leave it
or
back in 2020.
Get rid of.
Get rid of it. So those complicated skin routines, we're gonna get rid of.
Get rid of it.
It's just too hard.
Yes, ain't nobody got time for that.
Yes. So now that so many people are still working from home, right? And and I feel like there's been a little confusion about sunscreen. So one trend is, I don't need to wear sunscreen because I'm just working from home. I don't need to. So what do you feel about sunscreen and whether or not we need to use it? Whether
you need to use it leaving the every house day, home or not. You need to wear sunscreen every day, home or not, because you still most likely have windows, I'm going to assume. And so you're going to get rays from there. And you're also going to get the blue light from your computer screen if you're using your computer. And so a lot of people like the trend of like wearing like the blue blocking glasses. So you're protecting your eyes. So why wouldn't you protect your skin? Once again, the largest organ. So let's protect your skin too, and wear your sunscreen, whether you're working all day inside or not. Wear your sunscreen every day.
Yes. And I like, you know, the mineral SPF is really good for that. Even some of the sunscreens that have iron oxides are great. You know, they help with blocking the UV light from our devices, that blue light, and UVA and UVB from the sun, which we know causes hyperpigmentation, skin cancer, among other things, photo aging, etc. So really important just to be consistent with that sunscreen every single day. Every single day.
And there, I mean, the mineral sunscreens, there are lots of great mineral sunscreens now. There are, yeah. And a lot of them are coming in better tints now, so that, you know, when you are a person of color with deeper complexions, you're covered. They have, you know, there's tons of shades now and tons of different
Finally.
Yes,
I think that is a trend, I think, from 2020 that I do want to see like continue, is just the ongoing improvement of sunscreens that are mineral for all skin types. I think that is a total win, win. Because with the mineral, you also don't have to worry about as much irritation.
Right. Less chemical sunscreens behind.
Yeah. I think we've all kind of felt that stinging, that burning, because, you know, I always developed I had a list of my favorite sunscreens that blended well, but they were usually the chemical types. So they may have had octinoxate in them, or one of the other chemical sunscreen filters. But they, in many cases, sometimes, if I'm honest with myself, when you put them on, they would sting, especially if you were, you know, regularly using like an acne product, etc. And so they would sting just a little bit. You'd feel it like just a moment, and it would go away. It would go away. But truthfully, irritation and inflammation is like the enemy of the skin, right? Yes. It eventually, it can cause rashes, it can cause hyperpigmentation, underlying redness. And so anything that just irritates the skin in any way, we want to get rid of. And so mineral sunscreens, on the other hand, don't do that. They just reflect the UV rays. And so it's really important. And the nice thing is, you know, especially on the exposed skin, you can use like the powder formulations, which, and I believe there are several brands that have nice powder formulations now that have the iron oxides and have the mineral base that look really pretty on skin of color. So even though we don't want to put that underneath the mask, that is a really universal practice. We can still put it up here if we're reapplying it with a brush again to kind of give you that finish. So that's nice.
Yes.
That's nice. Well, this has been fun.
Yes.
This has been fun. So I don't know. Oh, there was one point. Oh gosh. Oh, I know, Kourtney. So this was a great one that you brought up, and I think it's a fun place to end, is just like leaving in 2020 the comparison game. Game. And I think it's so tough, like in our world of like social media and just everything that people are doing, you know, it's hard. How do we, I mean, you know, you get this little ping in the back of your mind. You're like, oh, I wish I could do that like them. I wish I could look like them, but I mean, I just want to drop that back in 2020. Yes. And I hope we all can try. Yeah.
Leave it there. Yeah. Stop comparing ourselves to other people. You know, imagine how boring this world would be if we all looked alike, all had the same hair, all the same everything. Imagine how boring, you know, this place would be. Like, it's, you know, the thing that makes everything so beautiful is that we're all unique. We're all uniquely ourselves and beautiful in that way. And that's what we should be celebrating. You know, we all have, you know, these different strands of curls or straight hair or whatever it is, you know, and that is what makes us us. You know, that is the beauty that we should celebrate. You know, that is the fun part about it, right?
It is.
That we are not the same.
It is.
That's
absolutely.
The great part. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I hope that people feel empowered to move into 21 as they are, because I think that, you know, that's enough, frankly.
Yeah.
That's the message that I'm carrying with me this year, is that, each of us is enough. And when you fully embrace that and you get more comfortable with just that fundamental belief, it just all works out better. Because then you're not worried about it. You're not worried about it. You're doing things for the right reason. And, you know, just trying to bring the light. Be your best self.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah. Well, this is cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if anybody has any other questions. We can maybe see. There have been some fun. Thanks for hanging in with us. This is fun. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Amen. That's what I say.
Amen.
So we're just going to say, is there anything you want to leave with people, Court, as we jump off?
Thanks for joining me. This is my first live.
Yeah. Super fun. Yes. I'll talk to you anytime.
Well, thanks.
Like,
yes, anytime. I'll come back anytime.
Yes. I would love that. We'll have to do this again.
Yeah.
And I would just say,
everyone stay safe, wear your sunscreen.
Yes.
Yes.
Makeup tutorial. Oh my gosh, that's all you. That's all you, Court. That is all you.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Anytime.
I'm makeup. Oh my gosh. Like, you've seen me, but
you do such a good job. You're good.
Yeah, but everybody stay safe. You know, and just remember to be gentle with yourself. Wear your mask, wash your hands, be socially distant, stay safe, and be the light. We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.